Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Robin and today we're asking the question sprint versus Olympic distance for your first ever triathlon. So let's look at what they actually are. So a sprint is a 750 meter swim followed by a 20k bike, finishing up with a 5k run. And then Olympic distance is exactly double that. So 1500 meter swim, 40k bike and then a 10k run. So they're both on the shorter end of the spectrum if you're looking at, say, Ironmans in comparison, but within themselves they're both brutally hard events if you race them hard. If you're looking for the easy option, then there isn't one, as I've just mentioned. They're both really hard, one shorter at a higher intensity and then one slightly longer at slightly lower intensity. So like I say, they're both within their own right hard races. So like I say, they're both hard races. They don't have to be if you're not going for the number one spot, you're not trying to overtake people. Then of course you can pace it however you want to. You can do it at leisurely speed if you want, but like I say, if you're going hard, then they're both going to be difficult. There isn't an easy option to choose there. Generally speaking, you're looking at about an hour to an hour and a half for that sprint distance, and then you're looking 2 hours to 2 hours 45, 3 hours sometimes for the Olympic distance, depending on your speeds. What puts most people off the Olympic distance is the 1.5k swim. It's quite a long swim really when you look at things. If you're not a swimmer, I can see that can be quite daunting, in which case just go for that sprint distance instead, which is just going to give you a 750 meter swim. I found in the UK here, most of the sprints I've done have only been 400 meters. They've been pool swims and it's been almost impossible for the organisers to make it 750. It's understandable, extremely annoying, but understandable. So you might be in a similar situation, and if you do hate swimming, unlike me, then you'll be keen on that 400 meter swim and everything else gets a lot better. In comparison, Olympic distance triathlons have got a 1.5k swim, as I mentioned earlier, so that's usually going to be an open water swim. It's going to be really hard to get that in a pool just because of the number of people swimming around. So yeah, if you prefer open water swimming or you don't prefer open water swimming, keep that in mind. It's probably going to be an open water swim, and definitely check it before you enter the race. Similar situation for the bike and the run. Check the course. If you don't like hills, don't enter a hilly one. Obviously the sprint is only a 20k bike, so it's not really that long. You can't do that many hills in that distance. So if you don't like hills, you like flatter, you're probably more likely to get a flatter course with that sprint distance. Obviously if you're somewhere flat, then you can get a flat Olympic. But if you just want a shorter event, then pretty much just go for that sprint. If you want the simple answer, then a sprint distance is what you want to do. There you go, answer solved. Like the video. Lovely jubbly. So why is a sprint my recommendation? It's a lot shorter. Like I say, it is going to be at a higher intensity, but that shortness is good if you're not experienced in racing and you just want to get some experience in. You haven't done much training, you don't actually have the fitness to go for that Olympic distance. Even if you do have the fitness, I would still go for a sprint. My first two triathlons last year were both sprints, and I'm really glad I did so. They definitely aided in my confidence during transitions. I got some really good race practice, and they were both local ones, and they're both quite friendly, which you don't find as much with the bigger distances. As I mentioned, the swim can sometimes be shorter. It can be that 400 meter distance, so that's going to help out all those non-swimmers out there in comparison to a 1.5k swim, which is so much longer. You're going to be in the water for a long time in comparison. Another reason that I recommend sprints, if you're just getting into it, the bike's quite short, so you don't need a TT bike necessarily. You can just use your own road bike, whatever you've got, and you won't be as much of a disadvantage. Also, they're quite a lot cheaper, generally speaking. As you go down in distance, races tend to get cheaper, so that sprint distance is going to be a fair bit cheaper usually than the Olympic distance. So if you're not committed to the sport yet, then just give a sprint a go. It's usually a lot cheaper, like I say. So this is pulling from my coached athletes and from myself. That's my opinion. I would really be interested in seeing what you did for your first triathlon. I know some people enter an Ironman as their first triathlon and they're absolutely crazy, but fair enough to them. Like I say, I recommend a sprint. But yeah, let me know what you guys have done. I'll be really interested to see down below in the comments. If you found this short video useful, then press that like button. And if you want to see more triathlon content, more videos just like this, then press that subscribe button. And I'll see you very soon in the next video.